Well, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. That's right, make some noise, clap it up, get it through her. However you want, we're back on another absolutely incredible Tuesday afternoon to start your week off strong with an amalgamation of talent across the board in the boxing sphere that we got to cover, like with Diego Pacheco beating the likes of Sadjo over the weekend in a fight that, hey, might have us having a little bit new reevaluations on Diego Pacheco. We found out some bad stuff, found out some good stuff. Now also with a fight with Hamzat Shiraz coming down the line for potentially a championship opportunity. Oh, we got ourselves a bunch of stuff to discuss. But before that, we got the bigger news of this week involving the bigger connotations behind this fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Yes, I know. Some of y'all don't want to talk about it. I get it. But there is a big reason as to why we're doing the preview now instead of later on in the week, because we just got some news about Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Seemingly, they got a plan to fight each other next year, finally, in an absolute barnburner. Can you believe it? No, I didn't. When I first heard about, we got to talk about that. So we're going to go on and preview the fight. We're going to preview what's going to happen. Most likely your boss gonna get knocked out. But either way, we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna look at some stuff there as to why this is going to be different beyond just the ramifications of skill level involving the likes of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, but now the mental game that is taking root in potentially the damaged psyche of Jake Paul going into this fight. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about it all and so much more right here on the show. But if you haven't seen this show before, hey, this is The Watchable. I am your host, Jean-Luc Welch, and we appreciate you tuning in and listening. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Yes, come on, be a part of this empire. Join in on the hottest show in all the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're there. And if we're not, tell us, we'll get there absolutely. Also, go ahead and leave a like on the video. It helps to push this show out to the algorithms of all the YouTube airways to help us get notarized, seen, and help more people see what we got going on right here on this community. And be sure, comment your chats and thoughts in the comment section down below. Hey, if you want to leave a gift as well, since the super chats, you want to be sure you get read. We've had people coming through here talking a whole lot of stuff, but we don't read everybody that we can. But hey, if you can, go on and chat yourself. We want your voice to be a part of the masses and be a part of what this show is as a whole. We want your voice to be a part of the conversation. Also, if you would, please, if you can, give us support the channel. Hey, we got Cash App and PayPal. Links down below in the description, as well as gifts, super chats, super thanks, all that stuff. If you can support the channel, would mean the world to me, would help us out immensely. And be sure to share the show. Everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up this empire to get a hold with you and your support. We can make this thing absolutely possible. Also, real quick, I need to move something out of my window before that thing starts melting. Hold on a minute. Wait a second. Hold on. I got a package I gotta return. Oh my gosh. Got a package I gotta return. And I gotta make sure that thing don't start melting in the sun. That glue don't start melting. But regardless of which, we got an action-packed show today. We got an incredible afternoon of action. So without further ado, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. And hey, we got sports to cover. We got boxing to talk about. So it's time to step into the ring. Yeah, buddy. Come on. Let's get it started. Yes, sir. Let's see what we got to say on it. But before we read that, we got people in the chat, like with Garden Snake. Yo, hey, man, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here with us. I appreciate you tuning in on the show. Like, trust me, we got a whole lot to talk about. I'm so glad that you're here with us. Not a fan. I'm not a Kobe fan, but salute to you. Now, hold on. You're not a Kobe fan. Is that Kobe? Is that not Kobe in your profile? Well, you know what it is. Also, he who shall not be named is also in. But you know what? We'll digress from that. Hey, look, I'm a Kobe fan as well. I'm a fan of all things sports, fan of all things basketball. And trust me, he is one of the biggest legends of my lifetime. And lo and behold, when I want to reach excellence, that's one of the brothers I look to, no question about it. So, hey, salute to you as well. So glad that you're with us. What are you starting stream about? We honestly, We got a bunch of ways that we can go. Most likely, we're gonna start with the what everybody's here for from the thumbnail. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, take his soul, or rather, take Jake's soul. Is the words that we see from Anthony Joshua. Ooh, buddy. Oh man. Now, why are we talking about this? Well, one, we're getting the preview out the way early in the week, because there's a bunch of other stuff's coming down the pipe. We just had some news with Tank, but you're coming back on a fight with Eastside Cruz. We're going to have more time to talk about that throughout the week. We got a couple of fights that got announced. We got Inoue versus Pacheco. We got Junta Nakatani. We got a lot of stuff we got to cover between now and the end of the month. So some stuff we had to push up. This is one of those things. We're going to go on and talk about it right now. It's going to be the first topic of the day. We're going to play some clips. We're going to play some sounds. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be great. No question about it. Also, we got people like Matt Borgerson. Hey, buddy, we got paid today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Starting off this show strong. We got paid. Thank you for the $5 super chat. We appreciate you donating and giving alms. Where's it? Giving alms to the empire of this community. Thank you so much, Matt. We appreciate it. Also, y'all ain't got to give. We get it. We're trying to earn our right to make some money, and it does our show so good that you can come through and support the channel. Let me see what you got to say on it. Everybody defended Pacheco lately, saying it was a good performance, but to me, I think he's straight up buns. He won't get a title at 168. No way. Well, okay. So, well, you know what? Since you paid, we'll throw the show around a little bit. We'll save the quote-unquote bigger story of Jake Paul. We'll save that for later. We'll talk about this now. Hey, look, y'all pay the money. We're going to change the flow. No question about that. Hey, I ain't got a problem with that. So we're going to start off with Anthony Pacheco. Before we do anything, we're going to talk about the quote-unquote real fight endeavor first and foremost, and then we'll touch into the world of the Jake Paul situation and what's coming down the line for Anthony Joshua with Tyson Fury allegedly. So we're going to talk about all that. But first, hey, let's change gears. Let's do what we do best. Let's talk boxing and let's talk Diego Pacheco. Come on. Then we got a bunch of stuff that we got to say. And Lord knows that fight was a lot harder than I expected. Oh, buddy. Now, we gave respect. We did give respect to the likes of Sadjo. No question about it. We did. But when I tell you, I thought Pacheco was going to be able to knock him out. Lord knows I was fully mistaken. This brother got knocked down. He got knocked down by the powerful hooks of Sadjo going in. Oh, that's some good coffee. Oh, that's some really good coffee. Probably should put a little bit more sugar, but that's some good coffee. But he got knocked down by the sweeping hooks of Sadjo, and I believe it was round 8, if I got my numbers right. And then afterwards, had to fight his way to a win in the last hour of the fight. As we go and review the fight real quick. Oh, it's getting wrong, but as we go and do a quick recap of what happened, first 5 rounds to Pacheco and Sadjo, I had Pacheco kind of being in a little bit of control, winning the first 4 or 5 rounds, doing what Pacheco normally does, using his length, being able to with those combinations, especially with those 3 hook stuff that he loves to throw all the time. It was good. It was good work. All of a sudden, though, Sadjo all of a sudden turned in, well, he was already turning into a dog, but he fully evolved into that dog, and that brother started putting the heat on Pacheco. Yes, he did. Oh, Pacheco had himself a war, had himself a time, and especially after that knockdown. Then, because again, he got knocked down after I thought he got hurt a little bit by another shot by Sadjo. After they had escaped the clinch, and then they go back inside. Sadjo bullies his way on the inside yet again, lands a sweeping shot, and knocks Pacheco down in a shot that, ooh, I thought, like, yo, this might be it. Oh, shoot. This could be it. This was danger. This was big danger for like some Diego Pacheco. And it ended up being in the last from rounds like 8 on. But it ended up being an absolute dogfight that we had to see Pacheco really dig deep and get this win. I'm talking about this man had to work so hard against a tough opponent, and forget being all easy going, forget being able to, okay, I'm just too tall, you can't get to me. Nah, he had to dog that fight out, and when I tell you that was it was good and it was bad for 2 reasons in my estimation. One, it was good because when I said that Pacheco can be a champion. And I still do believe he can be a champion at 168. It was still, with all the hype that I said I was on with him, there was still an understanding the brother's 24 years old. There's going to be somebody that comes his way that pushes this man to force reality into his psyche, that we can't be what we are at this point. We got to grow in some capacity, because now you're here at a level where you are going to be forced to either change or fall by the wayside, regardless of what your physical gifts and innate talent are. And this is one of the fights that proved that point. Now, the bad part of it was, the brother, it took him a minute to turn this fight back into his favor in those last 2 rounds of this fight. When he started to actually get the upper hand yet again, it took him a minute, and it looked like, man, if it was a better fighter, we could have seen Pacheco. We could have seen Pacheco lose. If I wouldn't be surprised if we could have said that performance against another fighter like Carlos Adames, we could have seen him get knocked out. We could have. We could have. We absolutely could have. And it's again, growing pains. But at this level right now, he's going to have to grow quick. He's going to have to grow quick. And again, credit to Sadjo. Like we said, I tried to give him as much respect as possible. Because, like y'all said in the chat, hey man, this cat can crack. This cat can punch. This cat, if he's like Christian and Billy, and if you watch the fight, hey man, that was a spot on comparison. This brother is like Christian and Billy. And man, Matt, hey man, thank you for another $5 super chat. We appreciate it so much. Another means of alms to the empire. But like, you right, brother, you right. He needs to avoid Billy right now. And let's be honest, is it gonna be any better? Who he potentially has coming down the pipe for his career next? Because if you've been keeping up with the news as of, I think it was as of, was it today? No, as of yesterday, or 2 days ago, that Saturday. Right now, this cat is potentially in a position where if we see Khamzat Shiraz win, or keep his championships, or it might even be the first defense. So we got Shiraz potentially going to make. Well, not first defense, but you get what I'm saying. But this brother could face Khamzat next. Do you understand how diabolical that? This brother could face Khamzat Shiraz next, and do we want that as a fight for him? As I'm trying to make sure I can cut it through. There we go. Okay, I had to make sure I got the transition right. But do we want that now? Do we want that now? I don't think so. I would hope not. I would hope not, because this is not. I'm not trying to be too harsh on Diego Pacheco. Be clear. I'm not trying to say like, oh yeah, he ain't worth what we said. All this stuff, but this was pretty telling. It was pretty telling on both the good and bad perspective. And again, as you see here with sources from the Ring magazine, Source 74 in the Ring, that Riyadh season is very interested in staging an explosive super middleweight showdown between undefeated contenders Khamzat Shiraz and Diego Pacheco. February is the targeted contest. Now, we also said earlier in the month, with the likes of Diego Pacheco, this man in 3 fights could have a means of a title opportunity. Did we not? Was that not what I said? I know I said, if it wasn't for him, it was for somebody else. But with Diego Pacheco, the same thing still applies. Hey man, but at 3 fights, this guy could be a champion, or at least be in line for a championship. And this, as a performance, while it showed grit, and while it showed a level of anxiety that he needed to overcome with adversity, I'm all for that. I can also say, hey, there's going to be some lofty levels of improvement that need to happen from what I saw with this fight. That even though it's a stylistic thing that Sadjo, again, with how he fights, yeah, he'll give everybody a tough time. He definitely got the power. There's others that got that same level of power, but aren't nearly as sloppy or more refined and can still work on the inside, dare I say, in a better way, i.e. Hamzat Shiraz, which again, he is going to be potentially not even potentially facing. If this is true, hey man, before Hamzat gets a shot at a world championship against the likes of Terrence Crawford or any other belts, depending on where they fall, when and or if Crawford drops them, well, look at who he's going to have to face. And this brother in Shiraz is a menace, has deceptively quick hands that will work and end you, cut through butter like a knife, cut through the air like a scythe, and can work better on the inside, or at least can work as good on the inside as Sadjo. And dare I say, with that type of height, might have better leverage. Hey man, Pacheco, you might be in a world of trouble. You might be in a world of trouble. You might be in a world of trouble. You might. I'm not trying to go and be too demeaning, but I gotta be real. Hey man, brother, shoot. We might have to reevaluate something. But before I go there, let me go and read some of the other stuff in the worlds of the chats that we got going on. And guys like Iglesias, Hamza beat Diego. You might be right. You might be right. You might be right. I'm so serious. You might be right. I am not saying that. Okay, Pacheco can't get better. I'm not saying that Pacheco. This makes him like he doesn't deserve to be in any sort of conversations for championship level. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he deserves to belong here. He fought through what was a very scary fight for where he was at that point and came out the other side. He did show a level of elevation for the standpoint of we got to dig deep and find a way. Hey, brother found a way. I can't deny. And he kept on looking for opportunities to turn this fight around. He never gave up. I loved it. But I am also going to say, man, hey, man, that physicality gave him a world of struggle. That gave him a world of struggle. And against the other dominant competitors at 168 right now, that could bode as a very dangerous option. That could bode as a very dangerous option. I'm just saying. Hey, really good. Let me see. Daryl Anderson, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. We're so happy to see you chatting with us. Did you see Inoue's new training footage? He's doing some kind of Soviet left hook. I have not. Now, I'll try to find it as the stream goes on. I haven't seen that footage. I saw something of him training, but it wasn't that. I don't think it was that. But hey, I'll look it up and I'll find it. I can imagine he's trying to do everything he can because he wants to make sure this fight with Picasso does not go awry with what's on the line coming down the line in next year with Nakatani. But again, we'll talk about it later on in the show. Jermel Charlo right now versus Sadjo. Who you got? Batman. Well, shoot. Ooh, that's a good question. Now, full disclaimer, I still don't have a lot of faith in. Well, hold on. Let me rephrase it. Because he did just come back and he has been more active than his brother. He, in terms of Jamal Charlo, excuse me. If we're going off of the fight that he came back in, okay, yeah. If he performs better than that, there's a conversation that he might be able to beat. He could beat Diego Pacheco. There's a conversation. Now, I say that tentatively because I don't know the consistency of Charlo. I don't know yet right now. With the 3 years out the ring and the first fight back, yes, he won absolutely on the same night that Caleb Plant lost, and he looked good doing it. Don't get me wrong, I get that completely. But just like I've had with other situations outside of the Manny Pacquiao fight, where he was fighting against a champion and had a draw against a champion. Okay, that's a little bit different. But on the norm, I think I've said this. I think I've had this consistent thing with Charlo. I don't know how consistent Charlo's performance is going to be for him as a fighter going through as he tries to keep on returning, as he tries to climb the mountaintop. But if it is looking like he looked in that fight on the Caleb Plant card, but with improvement, with more consistency in the gym, with a renewed and rejuvenated discipline, as well as without the ring rust. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if I said that, hey, that fight got announced tomorrow. That if I might have to pick Jermell Charlo, and I've been harsh on Charlo. I have. I'll be clear. I have. But with what he was able to do, and if he can get back to that, at least a vestige of that former state, he might be able to give some. Hey, I'm sorry, but Pacheco could be in some trouble with that type of matchup. And again, yes, y'all heard what I said about Diego Pacheco. Oh, and now all of a sudden it sounds like I'm completely flipping the script. Oh my gosh, Jean-Luc, you hate him. You're the spice. He's a bum. Is that what you said? He's terrible. He's horrible. Can't do nothing with nothing. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But like we do on this show, hey, we got to be unbiased. We don't try to overanalyze that something now is the concrete norm. But we also got to take into account where he is, what others have done around him, what he showed in this fight, both the good and the bad, and understanding, hey man, at now the competition only gets harder, most likely, or at this same level. Now, I'm not saying he can't grow and improve, but I am saying what he got forced to do in this fight from a complete 180 of a very good and, dare I say, dominant first 5 rounds into a knockdown, drag-out brawl that he had to win the last 2 rounds to win while getting knocked down. And couldn't keep his distance. Couldn't make Sadjo struggle to work on the inside. Had to go and work. He had to hook with the hooker. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't be in position to do that. Especially somebody 6'4" with that type of height and length and that ability. From the standpoint of, okay, you nullify his greatest strength, yet you had to fight him in his wheelhouse in order to win. Again, I love the tenacity, but I'm not going to sit here and act like, hey man, that's going to be a winning formula against these other great fighters that are, with all due respect, better than Sadjo. And you're in a championship window. Now, we got to be clear. You're in a championship window. You're in a championship window now. And the fact that you're getting talked about in the same fight with, we might make Shiraz next versus Pacheco in a Riyadh season card. Brother, that is going to be an interesting sentiment. Will the matchup be different? Yeah. Will the layout be different? Sure. Will the opponent be different? Yes. But the talent level will be elevated. They're going to take what they saw in that fight and use this against you. The fact that you will go in and fight the other opponent's fight, which, again, we laud the tenacity of that. But my gosh, against a Shiraz, against an Mbili, especially with that relentless push. Good gosh, you thought Sadjo was bad. You thought Sadjo was hard to fight. But an Mbili is a monster of a stamina engine. We saw Sadjo gassing out a little bit in those last 2 rounds. But an Mbili ain't doing it. Even when he's tired, he fights. He still pushes through and fights as if he is not. He's fully well. And he's bigger and stronger and a better inside fighter than the likes of Sadjo. Oh, it's going to be a problem. It can be a real problem. Also, let me see. Johnny Blaze, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Pacheco is super mid, and his trainer is trash. Gotta get it together. That was one thing I didn't like. Where was the now, unless I didn't hear all of the coaching voices from in terms of what he was saying. Again, the fact that they essentially said, okay, dog it out and fight with them in the clinch, fight with them on the inside as their best recourse, which again, credit to Pacheco, he finally got the upper hand, but it's the fact that they couldn't do anything beyond that. After, again, they were winning the first 5, and when the momentum shifted, they couldn't make any adjustment to get back to their game plan. They had to fight his game plan. which we've held as a good thing with other fighters, yes, but it's different because they did it, and from the jump, they were dominating the opponent in their own style. In a way, for example, I beat you at your own game. Canelo versus Crawford. Crawford beat Canelo at his own game. Crawford, but from the standpoint of, hey man, I'm going to be the more destructive puncher. I'm the bigger, durable fighter than you think. He did that to Errol Spence Jr. I'm the bigger puncher. I'm the bigger man. I'm the guy that's going to stand in the pocket and trade for trade. Be the dominating force and fight you in your element and beat you from the jump. They did that. That's different. This wasn't that. This wasn't that. Which is why I can't view this in the same highly regarded aspect of life. Doesn't mean it's not impressive that he pulled out, but it's a struggle. It's a struggle, and it's bad. Munguia would be a better fight for Pacheco. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would say so. Even though he's still training with Canelo and all that stuff, he's lost to, I think now he lost to Bruno Suarez. And then he came back, had a better performance, but then he popped dirty. And so now it's like, that might be the better fight for him to make, but it's not the fight that's going to happen. It's not the fight that's going to happen. He's here now at the Shiraz level. Whether he likes it or not, unless his trainer and team say, no, we ain't taking that. Hey, all signs point to at this point in time, they taking that fight for better or for worse. So, better lock in. That's all I'm gonna say. You better lock in. Better lock in, man. Better lock in. Let me see. Sadjo gave him that word. Yo, Truth, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We're so happy that you're here on today. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Come on, be a part of this empire and go on and join what we got with this community. And please like the video and share it to everybody else so we can get this show out to the masses. And leaving a like is just one quick action, and it does a world of difference for what this channel, what this video, what this stream can do. So hey, help us out if you can. But yeah, Sadjo gave him that word. Sadjo put him to the test. Sadjo showed him what it means to be in the realm of championship aspirations. That's where Sadjo was. We were not even looking at Sadjo as a top dog in the championship window. We were just looking at him as a powerful, but not as skillful threat that is an Mbili clone. I don't say that negatively, but it's an Mbili clone who can give a lot of people a tough out. And it's almost on a, though he was undefeated prior to this fight, almost on a pseudo gatekeeper type level. You beat him or you compete with him, okay, you can belong up here. But if you can't, guess what? We're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. Okay, that's what he is. Also, let me see. Bob, what's up with you? How you doing? Y2J, salute to you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're here with us on today. We're so glad y'all are here. Again, I love all all of the discourse and all of the action and all the conversation. But trust me, we got a whole lot of conversation to be a part of. And it's just never been high on him. And like I said, I was high on Diego Pacheco. Now, I'm still thinking he can be very successful. But this showed me something. Okay, let me reel this back a little bit. Let me peel back my fandom and let me look at him, what he did as a fighter. This can be very dangerous going into what is going to be his first real stint at the championship level of 168. We're talking between the top 5 to 10 in the world of super middleweight. Now he's here. And again, the unknowns of Charlo with where the word he's going to be as he continues, hopefully continues to keep his comeback tour going at 168. Where he may fall could be right in line and right in lap with this Diego Pacheco. Shoot, he might have to get to a point where he got to go back and run it back with Sadjo. If he might have to fight him, Billy, of all things, if that fight goes awry. And if we see that either A, something falls through and that fight don't happen, or B, that fight still goes on. And actually, I can't remember when exactly the Mbili versus Hamzat fight was supposed to be. Something goes wrong with that. Either way, those two are looking right down the barrel of Pacheco. And there, trust me, they won't flinch. They'll take that gun and turn it back on him and say, hey, brother, what you going to do? Because if you thought this was hard, you ain't seen nothing yet. For example, what we can do to you. Let me say, did you see Timothy Bradley's take on Pacheco? I agree people are over-exaggerating. Now, I didn't see what he had said. If you can tell me, please help me. That hadn't come across my timeline at all, so I'm not really sure what he said. I didn't even know he made a response to that fight, in all honesty. But if you can tell me, hey, let me know. Now, I've been critical of stuff that Timothy Bradley has said. I don't agree with a lot of things that brother talks about from the standpoint of boxing. Not because he isn't a great boxing and a Hall of Famer. Should never beat that Manny Pacquiao in that first fight. But still, a great warrior through and through. Multi-time champion. Not going to disrespect what he knows about the game. Trust me. Knows more than me. Don't mean I agree with everything that he says. So, a lot of stuff I take with him was with a grain of salt. But please, let me know what he said, and I can respond to it in kind, or I'll look it up as the stream goes on. Let me see. You seem like a solid individual, so I'm gonna watch all these ads without skipping. Hey, hold on, wait a minute now. Hold on, wait a minute. Nah, I appreciate it, absolutely. But trust me, we trying to be consumer friendly. If you're gonna skip them, skip them. You wanna watch them, sure. I don't even know. Trust me. But if you're new here, we just got monetized. So, hey, again, thank you all for helping us out, reaching that monument to go. We're going to keep on growing and thriving all day long. But just a quick break in the action. Hey, if you're watching ads, I don't even know how that revenue works coming in and whether it builds it up or not. We're trying to see how this goes. I'm still learning this whole YouTube mechanism of how to get paid and what the world goes on with what amounts to what. So, hey, man, we're just trying to make this as consumer friendly as possible so that you'll just want to keep on coming back. The watch time is the only time I care about. So as long as you just watching the show, if you skip ads or don't skip ads, hey, we'll work. All I know is you being here is what I value the most. I ain't taking that for granted at all. That's why you think I'm every chat. I'm trying to make sure I read. Because trust me, without y'all, I ain't nothing. Without your life, I ain't nothing. So just stick around. That's all I'm asking. Just stick around. That's all I ask. Just stick around. You can skip. You can do whatever you want. Just stick around. That's all I ask. And whatever is at your convenience to make this thing even more consumer friendly, viewer friendly, listener friendly, go ahead. Do what you got to do. Just be here. That's all I ask. But I appreciate you trying to help me out. And watching these ads, look, some of these I'd say go on. I'm not gonna lie. Some of these I'd say go on and skip. I'm not gonna lie. Some of these I'm like they drone on it. I saw one that was like an hour. There was an ad I saw. Again, quick side. There was an ad I saw. That was a doggone 2-hour podcast that I was trying to figure out why this thing was going so long. I was just sitting and listening in my room, trying to listen to some other shows. Next thing you know, a whole nother voice, whole nother podcast shows up, and I'm like, wait a minute. I thought this was supposed to be 30 seconds. Why is it 15 minutes and this thing's still going? Trust me, I don't want y'all falling into that trap. So please, if you gotta skip, go ahead. Do what you gotta do. I am all for it. Absolutely. So just be here. That's all I ask. Just be here. But I appreciate the support nonetheless. The power of Pacheco is lacking. I was going back into the boxing world. Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna say it's lacking because, again, it is enough. Like 25 wins, 18 KOs. That's not bad power. He did put Sadjo in some level of trouble in those later stages of the fight. And I think it was rounds like 11 and 12 when he finally was able to get his stuff off and start really throwing and landing some leather. All right. Now, Sadjo is incredibly strong. Is incredible. Hey, that buddy got a chin. I'm not gonna lie. That man, he can take a punch. He can take a punch. So, but I am gonna say it is not the dominating power that we were, or the more great. I'm not gonna say dominating. It wasn't on the great level that I said he was gonna be at. I didn't say he had elite power. I said he had good to great. Now I know it's not great. It's more in the good category. It's good power with pretty good combination punch. But it's not great power. That's, again, like Shiraz, one shot, and all of a sudden you out and you put to sleep. It ain't like that. So, hey, I reevaluate. Again, we mold and grow. That's what we got to do with Pacheco. You ain't lying. You do, or rather, it's not what I thought it was. It's still good, but it's not. It's not great. It's not great. I can say that a comment. Sadjo would give most at 168 problems. That's why he's been avoiding. Like I said, he's an Billy clone in some capacity. He is a more reckless. Well, not reckless. He's a more less skilled version. And I think from an outright physical standpoint, a less strong, less skilled version of Christian and Billy. But still, he's a problem for a lot of people to face. That's why I'm not trying to act like this is something that is so demeaning against. Be clear. Not trying to say that, oh yeah, this buddy got exposed. It ain't like that. But there is a level that he's shown. It's like, hey, we gotta be a little bit concerned. Let me see. Also, Tim Dog, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us. Let's go as well. We're so happy y'all are here. And again, we have a lot. We have a lot. I mean, a lot of conversation involving not just the Pacheco fight, but also with the Anthony Joshua situation. One more thing with Diego Pacheco before we move on to other aspects of the show. Hey, if we forget, or not if we forget, with this idea of him going up against the likes of Hamza Shiraz, we have to take this into account when we're looking at this fight. Also, this fight might be, I didn't realize, I didn't read that. Push the featherweight. Good gosh, dang, that is quick and soon. Great day in the morning, especially at a war like that. But regardless of which, with this fight with Diego Pacheco and Hamza Shiraz, one of the questions I have with Pacheco in regards to this fight with Sadjo, what growth can he get to now that we see he has to retool? Now, I don't ask this about a lot of people often. I don't. I say it's about people that had more of a laid-in track record of what they are as a fighter. Isaac Cruz, him being able to grow and adapt as a fighter, most likely ain't going to happen. He can make his own style still work, refine that, but changing into something new or adding a whole nother layer, that's not going to happen. Fabio Wardley, with all due respect, is Fabio Wardley. The brother ain't going to never be a technical boxer. He's going to refine what he's good at, but not evolve as a whole. Just ain't going to happen. Anthony Joshua right now, going against or training with Usyk, we don't know, though we infer he'll be able to evolve. But since his loss to Ruiz, and more so subsequently afterwards, when he was trying to retool and regroup, going through all these different trainers, I don't know if he can truly do a metamorphosis of a fighter. And it might be the better thing just to refine what he is, but that is a potential hanging hypothesis that we had to see play out, especially with his fight with Jake Paul. But some people, especially me, were saying the brother might just not be able to change and might only be able to refine what they are and not evolve into something different. With Diego Pacheco, though he's young, do we think he can make these types of changes, use his length a little bit better, gain a little bit better feet, nullify the inside work, and turn into more of, because again, he does love to throw, turn to more of a better boxer, puncher type of fighter when he looks like he's going to face Hamzat Shiraz, quick and in a hurry? I don't know. That's the concern. Going up against this brother in Shiraz is not an easy task at all. You gonna have to change in some way if you Pacheco. Because while I'm not saying Shiraz is a great defensive fighter, his offense to some degree almost erases all wounds of what he is lacking defensively. And it's such a dominant threat that hits forward pressure, especially off of, all it takes is one shot to go and shift everything about you, especially against a bunch of a boxer that will love to throw some combinations like Pacheco. Brother, you might have to go and take on a little bit of a cocoon and metamorphosize yourself into something different. But can he? We're going to find out. Because to some degree, he couldn't when he got his back put to the wall and he had to play again the other opponent's game to win, which is a credit, but it's also a little bit concerning because how he got into that struggle was one thing didn't work. All of a sudden, plan B wasn't do something different of your own. It was, okay, copy what the opponent's doing. Now, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. Going up against Shiraz, for me, I don't know. Excuse me, I don't know if I like that at all. And that is a little bit scary. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see. Did you catch Flores versus what was it? Joe Cordina? I believe I caught. I think I caught it. Did I catch that fight? Let me make sure. I was writing so many notes. I was writing so many. I was doing so much stuff. Let me make sure. Did I I might not have. I might not. Hold on. Did I catch that fight? Wait. I don't think I did. Unless I'm misremembering. I don't think I got to catch that fight. I don't think I got to catch that fight with Gabriel Flores. I do not think I got to catch that fight. I'm so sorry. I don't think I got to catch that fight. Of all the fights with everything going on, I had to go. I had to go in and I had a lot, I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of stuff going on over this weekend. So I wasn't able to catch that fight. So I do apologize. I can't speak on it. I gotta watch that and then talk about it later on this week. So I'll watch that this week and get back in tune with it. Then I'll be able to talk about that come Thursday and Friday and whatnot. Also, Mule, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Good. So glad you're here with us on today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening with us. Will you cover the disgrace that is Usyk against Wilder? Now, we did talk about that, I believe last week. Now, if you stick around, hey, we can touch on that in the championship rounds at the end of the show. If you stick around, and trust me, you're going to want to. It's going to be a joy to have. It's going to be a joy to talk about. And so, championship rounds, you can talk about anything and everything. Get your questions and comments out when you hear the sound of the bell. Boom. We transition over into the world where you all control the flow of the show. You stick around for that. We can talk about more about the Wilder stuff. But right now, we got to stick with the current topics of the day. But we did talk about that last week, and you can go watch it on other show. I think the last podcast that we had on Friday. On the last live stream that we did on Friday. Go check it out. But full disclaimer, real quick summary. Usyk's doing it because he wants to take out all the old kings of heavyweight. Understandable. Though I don't think Deontay Wilder should skip the line when it comes to fighting for the championships. Now I want to see him fight against Fabio Wardley. At least fight against Fabio Wardley before you take on a fight of this caliber with Deontay Wilder that is very much out of the realm of running for championship opportunities. At least do that for me. But I get it from a business perspective and a legacy perspective. Clean out the entirety of the old guard, Fury, AJ Wilder, and there is nobody else at this point in time that would bring as much money as Usyk versus Wilder. They're just not. It's literally an easy payday with a legacy additive of, okay, I beat every great of this era at some point in time. And there's nothing from that respect. I cleaned out all the old guard. That's a great notch in his belt. He's going to get a bag, a huge bag. Especially depending on where it is. If it's here in the States, oh my God, that'll be mega. Because people were just going to come out and see Wilder be great one more time. I get it. Don't like it, but I get it. I get it nonetheless. But again, we'll cover that later on in the show. I believe it'll be Wilder versus Chisora. I don't think so. If you watched the show last last week, Wilder was saying, I think in an interview the day before that show, Usyk versus Wilder talks are going very well, extremely well. We're praying that it stays like this because we can make this fight happen next year. Easy. Paraphrasing, but those are Wilder's words. So it's like, he can make it happen. He can't make it happen. So we're going to see it. Most likely we're going to see it. Whether you like it or not. I doubt that Chisora versus Wilder will happen. Chisora, I just heard Chisora is in talk to fight with somebody else. Also, what not in talk, but it's been rumored that the Butters getting ready to fight somebody, I forget which heavyweight, but another heavyweight, as a big deal. But will it happen? I don't know. We'll have to find out and wait and see. Honestly, everything is unknown up until we see it take place. Let me see. Miss Queen, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. Let me see what you got to say. Wilder should be ashamed to fight Usyk when he know he should fight AJ first. And it's, like I said, though it doesn't make sense from a boxing standpoint in the ring, business-wise, that's why it's happening. If I'm Deontay Wilder, you talking right. Hey, man, Usyk called me on the phone and said, Usyk called me and said we want to make a fight happen. Oh, my gosh, Wilder was running up and down the sidewalk. Literally, reenacting what he did when he got the call. This is great. For him, like, no kidding, I'm taking that fight. Who wouldn't? It's probably going to be the last big payday that he gets in his career. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires after this fight with Usyk. I wouldn't. And my gosh, if he wins, it would be one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen. For the standpoint of he's ranked, 44th right now in the boxing world, only above like the likes of David Adelaide, has had questions about his ability. And the worst, quote-unquote, elite technical boxer in the heavyweight division going up against the best technical boxer in the division and pound for pound one of the three best fighters in the world. And you, from all the travesties that you've had since your losses to Tyson Fury from the standpoint of your own performances, getting knocked out by Big Bang Shang, getting beat up by Joseph Parker, and both terrible performances in your own right, like, this would be an insane upset. For him, makes all the sense in the world. So I can't get mad at him for taking that. Because I understand it. It literally, opportunity fell in his lap. I just don't like that Usyk is taking this fight. Though I understand his side as well. I don't like it. I don't think it should be happening. Not to me. Hamza gonna put the beats on Diego. At this point in time, unless he elevates, it's looking like he is dangerous. Don't let the Carlos Adames fight fool you. I don't think anybody's letting the Carlos Adames fight fool us. But we saw what he did to the likes of Berlanga. Trust me. And I think he was actually injured in that fight with Carlos Adames as well. So trust me, I'm not letting that fool me. But I know what Shiraz can do. That brother, that is a scary 6'5", 6'6" brother that just towers above the ring and is looking to put pain on a bunch of people. I'm telling you that right now. But before we continue, before we get too far gone, we do got to make sure that we do talk about the main or the thing that's on the thumbnail. We got to at least talk about that. The picture on the thumbnail and the quote that you see on the screen with the likes of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. Yes, indeed. No. I had the wrong thing clicked up. I actually had this one, but let's switch back again. Boom. Paul versus Joshua review, preview, whatever the word you want to call it. Just real quick. Like just what you see in the thumbnail. Like what you see in the world of all these social media, we are in the means of a potential funeral percussion for the likes of Jake Paul, as we are 3 days away, 4 days away, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think the fight's on Saturday from Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul on Netflix, which again has a card filled with what looks to be pretty dense. It's not the strongest card that we've had on this fight call, but it is a card that is filled with some pretty good names on the docket, as you can go and check out the list right here, right now, with the likes of Alyssa Baumgardner fighting Aaron Silva versus Tyron Woodley, Jamal Harvey versus Kevin Cavantis. And granted, a lot of these fights, with this being a month out, having to go through and retool and get all this stuff with the whole Tank debacle situation, hey, a lot of this stuff is kind of, it ain't the strongest from the standpoint of name notoriety. But should be quality nonetheless, because at least that's what I can say about MVP cards. Much as I don't like Jake Paul, most of those cards that he puts on, for the most part, have been pretty good undercards. So if that does anything to help you out, cool, great, no problem. Either way, the biggest thing is the main event, and the fight that, and what I want to touch on with that regard is this right here. Shoot, I almost forgot to bring this picture up with Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. I know, I did. This leads into this fight. If you didn't know, like I had teased earlier, Anthony Joshua is gonna be fighting Tyson Fury, or that's what Riyadh Season is looking for, in 2026 as a big headline event at Riyadh Season, with a final stamp on the greatest all-British fight that we will have ever seen, from the standpoint of hype, notoriety, and talent for talent. From a mythical standpoint of the biggest fight in UK history, this might just be it. This might just be it. Two of the people that ran British boxing at one point in time. Tyson Fury, during his reign of dominance, when he beat Deontay Wilder, and then Anthony Joshua, when he was an undefeated 21-0, almost 21 in OKO ratio, or perfect KO ratio as well, of one of the most destructive faces of the division, that led the division as the best fighter in the division. Finally, them getting it on with you. But that all depends on if Anthony Joshua can beat Jake Paul and destroy him. Because if anything goes wrong between here and 2026 next year, that fight's gone. That fight's done. It's over. The fight's over. Be clear. And because of that reasoning, it leads us into this clip with Anthony Joshua,
no fear,
and Jake Paul, and why this idea of taking Jake's soul is so prevalent and relevant for this fight with Jake Paul in the eyes of Anthony Joshua. I'll play the clip first, and then I'll see what you all have to say.
I have faith in God putting me into this moment for a reason.
You see with Jake.
Fear, because I have faith in God putting me into this moment for a reason.
You see with Jake, what I learned about Jake is someone where I got to beat him mentally, because he's a mental person. This is my observation. A lot of what Jake's preparation is based around is not only the physical aspects of training, but the way he thinks, meditation, breath work. If I can break his soul and I can break his mentality, then I've broken Jake. This is why it's going to be an interesting fight, because I don't just look at it from a physical standpoint. I know the person that's in front of me, and I know that I got to break it. That's why I said I got to take his soul. It's not just physical. I got to take your soul in the ring.
Only
And see, hold on,
person that can do that is God.
I knew he was going to say that.
Is he fucking with your brain?
No, I don't know. That's what I was gonna ask, is how do you plan on doing that? Like, when is it gonna start? When are you gonna start taking it?
I've just seen in fights when I can see someone's, let's call it energy, frequency leaving their body. And that's what my goal is to do the same to you. You have that instinct. You can see it. When you're fighting, you can just see a small glimmer of someone that's just about to start fading. And then you just keep exploiting that until some people give up. Some people get knocked out.
And see, this is very bad. Very bad in every regard. And the reason, again, the reason why, I'm not trying to harp on this. I understand this is Jake Paul. I get it. No, everybody thinks that Jake Paul's going to get knocked out. Okay, hum diddly dee. That's what we got going on. Boom. Hey, Joshua versus Jake Paul. Preview and prediction. Jake Paul gets knocked out in, 3 rounds? Cool. Great. Whatever. But the bigger mental aspect of this, on the standpoint with Jake Paul and with Anthony Joshua, Jake is now facing off against somebody. When we talk about killers in the sport, we can say everything else we want about Anthony Joshua from the standpoint of the brother ain't got it together, but it has had some issues going awry with his ability to put the yin and yang of offense and defense, meld it back together like he did in the past when he was the best heavyweight in the world, when he was younger, unified champion. All that is well and good. Fine to say. Will the Usyk training work or not to help remold that game back to the state that it used to be of yin and yang? We're going to find out. We don't know. What we do know is the one thing that never leaves somebody like an Anthony Joshua and every other puncher that we've seen, every other knockout artist, every other killer in that regard, is the understood tendency, the perception of demise. Like I like to call it, the perception of demise. It is similar to what we see with the likes of One Piece. Hey, anime reference coming up. Hey, everybody get ready. Anime references. We about to put entertainment and sport together. Everybody listen. One Piece, hockey, observation hockey. People have different realms and qualities in the show, but essentially you are able to see things in a manner and in a way in the One Piece world that other people can't. You can perceive stuff happening before it happens. You can see movements before they take place. All that stuff. Great, good. Make you a marksman. Make you a great fighter. Whatnot in the show. Love it. Usopp's got it. A couple other characters in the show got it as well. Love the show. Check out One Piece if you haven't already. Phenomenal journey. You'll never be the same after you see it. But regardless of which, he goes, and when it comes to Anthony Joshua, saying you can see that little glimmer in a fighter when they're just about to give up. Everybody can't see that. And with that eye for demise, Jake Paul, against everybody else he's faced, didn't have that eye. One of the biggest, and why it's important, and why it leads into the break your soul and take your soul type of mentality that I got with the thumbnail and with the title. Jake Paul is now dealing with somebody, the talent, we don't got to talk about it. The power, we don't got to talk about it. The speed, we don't got to talk about it. We know Anthony Joshua outmatched Jake Paul in every way, shape, or form. But the reason why that every other time has been different than this is because when Jake Paul has been on that fine line, and he has been on that line in multiple times in almost every fight he's been in, nobody ever took advantage of it. Tyron Woodley never took advantage of it. Anderson Silva couldn't take advantage of it. Tommy Fury, when he was beating Jake Paul, couldn't take advantage of it. Mike Perry never had a chance. Nate Diaz didn't have enough qualitative offensive ability at all, though he just kept on getting up. But couldn't take advantage of it at all. Was outmatched and outclassed. But even when somebody was matched up with them, they could not sense or act on Jake's ready to go. And here's the thing about that. The only person that could do that was Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson was too old to move. Now you're dealing with somebody in Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, where AJ has that perception. And it's something that Jake Paul laughs at now. But he doesn't understand. He reeks of that. From a killer's perspective, he reeks of demise. It is a black aura around him because of the fact that you don't, Jake Paul, most of the time, never actually knows he's in danger and he's ready to go. And because the opponents he's faced off against, it's been pushed against him. That the brother, okay, yeah, I'm good. Okay, you can't do nothing with me. You can't capture, you can't take advantage of me. All of that. has blinded Jake Paul to understand the whole facade of your ability, which you're better than what we expected. You are a real boxer, but you're still a bum of a boxer. And because of that, with how you matched yourself up, with who you fought against, you have been blinded to your own ineptitude, even in your improvement. And it's the fact that, you know what it is? Jake Paul, right now, has been a deer in headlights. Not even a deer in headlights. What's the animal? There's an animal. I know he is. He's a frog in boiling water. That's what I was thinking. Jake Paul right now is a frog in boiling water. And what I mean, also real quick, we got people like Coyote. What's going on, brother? Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. Let me see what you guys say. I'm getting my shipment of One Piece merch from Japan. Oh, you are? Okay, all right. Okay, let's go. Hey, man, send some my way so I can wear it on street. No, I'm kidding. Enjoy your merch. Absolutely. I was going to buy a straw hat. I was going to buy a straw hat and the jacket. I was going to have that periodically to wear on stream. There's a bunch of stuff I want to buy from that show, but I got to make some money first. Which is why we're gonna work to build this thing up together so I can make some moolah. Ain't that right? Yeah. I'm kidding. just being funny. But hey, man, enjoy your stuff. And hopefully it comes in there, nothing's broken, everything's all well and good. And tell me what you got. 'Cause I would love to fanboy out with you, absolutely, on the merchandise. But even still, Anthony Joshua is gonna KO Jake in the fourth, most likely. But it is the why. We're not talking about the what, it's the why. Jake Paul is a frog in boiling water. What does that mean? When you cook an animal, any animal, especially frog, I think it's frog. When you boil a frog alive, what happens is if you turn the heat up high, they're going to jump out immediately. Why? Because they know that they're in danger. They feel the heat, and it's so excruciating from a impact standpoint. From the jump, they get out. Boom, they move. But if you turn the heat up slow, if you wait, if you go through and you ease into the danger, you ease into the damage, you ease into the fire, all of a sudden they stay. All of a sudden they sit back and it's a nice comfy day. But by the time it gets too hot, they're already dead. Because they didn't know. And they didn't recognize where they were at and what was going on up until it was too late. And when it comes to Jake Paul, he just got the biggest advice he better take. The eye for demise, the perception of demise. I think eye for demise is a little bit better. The eye for demise that a killer has when you're fighting against somebody, it is something that you can see. All right, you're ready to go. You're ready to get knocked out. You're done. You're done. And they see that when you feel that you are the healthiest that you are. When you're fresh. I've seen it with Anthony Joshua when it's been the first 3 rounds. All of a sudden, yep, he sees it. He sees it. Opponent ain't even hurt. Yeah, he's ready to go. I know exactly. I know exactly what's about to happen. He's ready to go. And lo and behold, 2 rounds are gone, done. Killed him. Sting got put to sleep. Just like that. Put to sleep. Put to sleep. Why? Because he saw the eye for demise. To see when you are done. When the opponent doesn't even recognize them. These are people that are actually good. People that are actually elite. Part of the reason why he ran the division at heavyweight. Killers can see when you are already dead before you even get to a point that you feel alive in the first place. When you just feel like you start living inside of the ring, a killer can see, okay, yeah, no, he's gone. He's gone. He's ready to go. Now, he's ready to go. Not just because, I decided and okay, I'm going to just get aggressive. No, I see you already as to when and where you're going to falter and fall away. With you in the ring with me, when we talk about the eyes, the fight before the fight, being able to witness in both, this is why post or pre-fight is just as important as in-fight action. You can get a gauge. And with everybody else, everything that we said about Jake Paul and his ability as a fighter, as a talent, all that is well and good, bad, but it's also, he's been able to skirt by on top of fighting people that, again, just are not good enough to beat him and that aren't real fighters, or boxers rather. He's fighting people that in this sport, outside of Mike Tyson, who just too old, didn't have that eye for the eyes, couldn't see and capitalize on, hey, when you're ready to go. In the ring, being able to push themselves to take the initiative, to say he's getting ready, it's almost time to pull the plug, we need to make the move and do it now. That's what Anthony Joshua has. He sees you in the ring as a similar, another anime reference, like Yagami from Death Note. If you watch the show, Death Note, quick summary, book, write your name in it, you dead. Plain and simple. There's a book, there's a big old floaty dude that loves apples. He gives you got the book, you got him. If you write somebody's name in the book, they're gonna die of a heart attack. Plain and simple. Boom. You can write specifics on how somebody dies and a date, and then they die. Brother Light was the main character, used it to go and kill a bunch of criminals and then turn into a psychological god, or rather a god complex. Ended up with having a whole bunch of issues, and great show, you should see it, phenomenal. Regardless of which. Part of that book, I forget what you had to do, but you signed a certain contract, and with that contract, you get some eyes that you can see the established date of somebody's death above their head. Name, age, when they gonna die. You can see that above their head with these specific type of eyes. Again, the perception of demise, the eyes of demise. And the person walking by doesn't even know that is around them. They don't even know, hey, this dude can see when I'm going to die. This dude can see how I'm going to die. But they're walking in like nothing else happens. They're walking in like everything's all hunky-dory. Yet, the killer can see the demise of the opponent in front of him. And the man or woman doesn't know up from down. They don't. Blissfully ignorant. Jake Paul, in this fight, is blissfully ignorant of the issues of his own demise. He has so many tells of when he's tired, of when he's faltering, of when he's weak, of when he is vulnerable. He's got so many tells of when he is able to mess up. He's got pre-tells of when he's going to make a move and when he's going to mess up. And he's got stamina issues. Everything under the sun is seen as Jake Paul is growing. Jake Paul is developing. Jake Paul is improving as a fighter. What he's actually doing is masking what his issues are, because they haven't gotten better to that degree. Slightly improved, but they ain't gotten better in that degree. Most of the same issues have stayed the same, yet he has never been pushed into a point where they got to grow like they need to grow. And his improvement looks better than it actually is. And from the standpoint of somebody that doesn't know anything about fighting to get this type of level, hey, impressive. Even Shakur said that. Even Shakur Stevens said that. Shoot, I'll play the clip of what Shakur said to even improve my point. But even Shakur said, hey man, he's better than what I thought he was. I'll read the quote right now. I think Jake is better than people would even understand. I was impressed for sure. I'm surprised. You can tell he had a good coach in his corner, telling him the right things, and he's listening to the right things. His instinct is like, don't, not to get beat up or to not get hit. And I was surprised by it for sure. As long as Jake doesn't get knocked out, as long as he stay on his P's and Q's, I think he should be all right. That was a quote from Shakur Stevenson when he sparred against him in Jake's preparation for Tank Davis. That shows, with all due respect to Shakur, at least from my perception, for people thinking that a YouTuber can't fight, hey, the brother actually has some skills. But it's skills from a standpoint of no skills to training. Okay, this cat has actually learned something new. From no skills to this level, hey, he is better than what you may say. But at this level, he is still a bump. Don't forget, the brother said at the same interview with Ariel Helwani, so you picking him, you betting 12,000 on Jake Paul? Brother said, good gosh, no, as a median of a fraction. As a median of a fraction. Brother he didn't even say that, he didn't even give a complete answer of how Anthony Joshua went, because he didn't want to mess up, assuming mess up the relationship with Jake Paul. Because again, you sparred with the brother. Would be ashamed to throw him under the bus and say he got knocked out. But you can say the brother was you can see the brother was watching his words, trying to go through and talk through this fight. Because he knows. Brother, if I wanted to, I could have put you to sleep, and I'm a 135. Anthony Joshua sees the same thing I see. And can do leagues more damage than me. I know you're gonna get beat. And you don't know you're gonna get beat. That's the problem. You don't. He's never faced somebody with a eye for them eyes before that can capitalize on what the issues of your game is and is willing to put pedal to the metal. He did that with Francis Ngannou in round 1. Y'all forget, after the first jab of Anthony Joshua, he was in kill mode immediately. But the first punch was thrown by Ngannou. Anthony Joshua was immediately looking for, okay, all right, we're gonna put you to sleep. All right, that's all I need to know. And then boom, you got put out immediately after. Bait, jab, slip, count. Going through yet again, up, trade with the hook, bet, got you, boom, knock it out. All right, you're done. I don't need to waste any more time. Naked right hand, without any delay, reaction, setup. Why? Because you know you're ready to go. And to do that, you take his soul, demoralizing his identity as a fighter by showing him, I know you're about to go and there's nothing you can do. I guarantee you, from the first punch, you think Jake Paul's going to be fighting scared? From the first punch, he is going to recognize that this is a demeaning level that he is fighting from the standpoint of his own talent compared to Anthony Joshua. And he's never going to experience the threat, dare I say, the understood realization. I'm in a fight I can't win. And somebody knows that I'm in a fight that I can't win. And they are not going to feel bad about beating me as savagely as they can. Not because that they have animosity, not because they are mad at me because I said something about the girl or about their mom or about their family or about their money. Not because they got a grudge against me, not because we got total drama surrounding social media, but strictly because they themselves are a sadistic killer. They are going to put me out in the worst way possible and they know I'm outmatched, and they feel no remorse, and they have all the ability, and they won't let me live just out of sympathy or because they're too cautious. They're going to put me out, and I know I can't win. That is taking somebody's soul. That is putting fear into an opponent, the likes of which they are never the same. That is what we know Jake's never experienced, because he's never been in the ring with somebody that can capitalize on said visceral instincts of seeing your death date above your head. Again, like Death Note. The eyes of demise. This is not just a joke. I am not trying just to talk about this just to make some content. I'm being for real. You gotta understand, the reason why this fight is so scary is because we're dealing with a Anthony Joshua who knows he can do what he's gonna do to Jake Paul. And now, guess what? Because of Tyson Fury, because of this, where's it? Because of this fight that got announced 2 days ago, hey, they trying to make the greatest all-British war in boxing history between the likes of Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. There's no recourse to hold back. There's no recourse to go and wait out rounds. There's no recourse to make a fixed fight or make a good fight out of it. When a fight that will make as much, if not more money against Tyson Fury is, dare I say, 2 fights away, with this fight and another fight happening earlier next year, to get Joshua back in the ring and get him comfortable with his team and with his ring rust. You mean to tell me that people still think this fight is going to be rigged when Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is on the line? Anthony Joshua's got an eye for demise, and he is not going to waste time letting Jake Paul get comfortable. Why let the man who can warm up? Why let him feel like he can deal with me when I know I can just bum rush him and get him tired within 1 round if I wanted to? Because he can't do anything with me. He thinks he's faster. He's not. He thinks he's got the speed to catch me. He doesn't. He thinks he has the power. He doesn't. And he doesn't know that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take his soul. I'm going to break his soul. I'm going to make him feel fear. Not just because of the palmer circus. Again, we said this with Mike Tyson. Tyson is going to be the first person that can make you feel a level of fear before a fight, because again, he and in the ring, because it's Mike Tyson. Everybody's scared to be in the room with Mike Tyson to some degree because of the, again, dominating nature. But he was 60. This ain't that. You're dealing with somebody who in Mike Tyson couldn't walk, let alone move. Now you're dealing with somebody who is the greatest knockout artist of this generation, and you are worse than Francis Ngannou. And he put Ngannou out in 1 round, with Ngannou having the same leverage and strength and taking Tyson Fury to 12 and arguably should have won. Boxing him. There, and you are at best, cruiserweight. A low weight cruiserweight at that. Going up against the likes of AJ. And you think you have the skills to make a fight out of it. But everybody else that you faced have let you slide in some capacity. Because either A, they weren't good enough, because most of them, it wasn't their sport, boxing. B, they weren't young enough. And now, he's going to break you. Like Bane with Batman. He's going to break you. He's going to snap you in half. He's going to make you feel a fear that you've never experienced before. He's going to make you go through and work inside your own mind, just trying to keep yourself sane. You're going to wish the corner threw in the towel because of the fact that you just don't want to be in the ring with this. Everybody keeps forgetting this is a real fight. This is going to count. Everybody keeps overlooking. Anthony Joshua's entire career will be dead in the water if anything less than a dominant performance goes in this fight. Everybody keeps underestimating that anything except for the complete and utter destruction of Jake Paul will go through and ruin him. There is no tomorrow for Anthony Joshua right now. And because of that, he's acting accordingly. What is he acting like? Somebody who's going to go through and see how you're going to fall. And let you know this is how you're going to fall. And then make you fall. Helplessness and hopelessness is what we're going to see. That's what we're going to see. Because there's a bigger picture on the line in Tyson Fury. There's something to aspire to drive. There's something to fight for. You ain't fought against somebody that has something to fight for. Like this. There's legacy that is yet to be had. Not legacy is already established. There is more than pride. Livelihood for Anthony Joshua is on the line. That he is desperately trying to get back to. There is no tomorrow for Anthony Joshua. Hence why he's going to take this fight serious. He's going to take this fight with every single ounce of respect. He's going to take this fight as serious as a championship opportunity. Why? Because it's a championship level fight with Tyson Fury is on the line for him to fight next year. Jake Paul, you picked the worst time to fight Anthony Joshua. Because you're fighting Anthony Joshua that has something to fight for. Legit something to fight for. Not pride, which is still real. Not just, I want to end the story of Jake. You're fighting against somebody who their dream goal is within their grasp potentially one more time. When it looked like all hope was lost with a championship window. You picked the worst time to fight Anthony Joshua. You picked the worst time. Because you about to experience a perception of somebody who actually knows when you're finished and won't let you rest until he breaks your spirit with that reality. That's what he's going to do. He's going to break your spirit. He's going to break your spirit. He'll be able to out-talk, out-think, and out-taunt anybody else that comes his way. You can't do that with him. You can't do that with him. Because you can't kill a killer unless you're ready to die. You can't kill a killer. That's the thing. He's going to understand. You can't kill a killer unless you're ready to die. Randy Holyfield against Mike Tyson, brother, he was ready to die when he fought him. Ali versus Foreman, he was ready to die. Mike Tyson even said, Ali was ready to die. This is a quote. Ali was ready to die for this sport. I'm not built for that. I'm not like that. I can never be as great as him. Tyson's words, not mine. Crying to Sugar Ray Leonard because of the emotions of honor and reverence that he had for Ali because of what he was willing to do. He was willing to die in that ring to get the victory against killers that also didn't care a lick whether he lived or died himself. Didn't matter. Somebody who outlasted the almost endless George Foreman or Joe Frazier, who we thought, buddy, there's no one that can out-heart him. No matter how bad it gets, he will continue to get up. But he got up from his stool when Frazier couldn't, or rather when his corner wouldn't let him. Because they were like, hey man, you are gonna die. We can't let you go. Ali said, yeah, I'll go. Frazier wanted to go, but he couldn't. Because his team wouldn't let him because they were like, you gonna die. And Ali said, in spite of what his corner was gonna say, but I'm getting up. And he did. But you have to be willing to sacrifice something that you hold so dear. Life itself, going up against a killer in the ring. And Jake, he's not there. He's never been there. And this is that equivalent. He's not, Anthony Joshua ain't Mike Tyson. He ain't Ali. He ain't all these people. But he is, he might as well be. And Jake Paul is not willing to say, I can look death in the face and smile. He's not. He's not. You're about to get destroyed. It's about to be bad. It's about to be really bad. This brand for Jake Paul is about to be ruined. It's about to be ruined. It's about to be ruined in a bad way, I'm telling you. Ruined in a very bad way. Ruined in a very bad way. Let me see. Al Booker, yo, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. So glad you're with us on today. We appreciate you tuning in. Also, Just Do Boxing. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, you leave a like on the stream. And like I said, we still got more to cover in the world of boxing, but we did want to make sure we just cover the Anthony Joshua thing just so we can make sure we got a whole bunch of stuff going on this week that we got to have time to cover. So we're going to do what we can and talk about everything that we can. As we also got, I think, Tim Tszyu fighting. We got Donaire. I think Donaire? Wendy Donaire is also getting ready to fight against is it Susumi? I think it's Susumi. Yeah. It's Susumi. So we got a lot of stuff that we got to discuss. Also that whole card with Nakatani Inoue and Shakur Teofimo Lopez. We got a lot. We just want to make sure we got the Jake Paul thing out the way so we can cover it, do it, and then move on. Absolutely. But let me see. Did you see Jake Paul video hitting the heavy back? I think I did. I might be able to pull it up right here for you all to see. Like I said, we played a portion of the interview. We played how Jake said he's gonna take his soul, or how Paul said, or how Anthony Joshua he's gonna break his soul. He's gonna take his soul. He's gonna go through and show him the real means of what it means to be bad from the standpoint of you can't compete any way, shape, or form, no matter how you talk. And this is the training video of him. And again, I'm telling you, we gotta talk about it because it's so. The fight's this week, so we have to discuss it. But again, you can, gosh, Lord, that thing is loud. You can look at the training footage now. So let me turn it down so I don't get copyright stricken. But you can look at, like you can look at this training footage and see all of this. And this is the bad part about Jake Paul. I'm trying to make sure y'all can see it. Okay, y'all can see it. There we go. If you're watching the footage and you're watching this, guess what? This looks the best that Jake Paul has looked when it comes to how he throws punches and as a more fluid fighter, at least in training. This is the best he's looked. But this is all smoke and mirrors because it's not sustainable. None of this is sustainable because he can't punch like this for longer than 3 rounds. He can't have that. Like he can't have. He forces himself to have more output than his body can actually withstand. So all this combination punching, all this stuff that he's got going on, plus with the added weight that he had to go through and put back on at the cutting weight, I don't know what that did to his body. I don't know what that did to his stamina, which was already bad. And I also know that these types of shots, these 1-2s, are all gonna be incredibly long, incredibly exaggerated, incredibly overreaching, and more taxing on your body with this added weight that you're trying to trim down in the muscle. And you look big, but it's not a good big. It looks more like a out of shape big, a flabby big. In fact, I'll let you see right now. The heavy bag looks good, but that's not what's going to be in the fight. We know this. And this is a facade because this is 11 seconds. He can't fight with this type of technique for longer than 3 rounds. Because then it falls by the wayside. Then he puts his hands down. Then he starts sucking in oxygen. Then he starts getting winded. Then he starts getting tired. Then what does he do? He starts slowing down. Making mistakes. Getting defensively lax. Reaction time getting slow. This type of body. This type of body Look at this and tell me that this is somebody that is actually able to sustain a high output, closing the distance, moving your head, moving your feet, winning the jab battle against a legit heavyweight for longer than 3 rounds. And again, this is as bad from a body perspective, from a physical toning perspective, as he's looked because of the inability to put on that weight the right way. He was able to cut down. He was getting better fit. Not saying he ain't strong, but I'm telling you this. Last time we saw a body this less defined by Anthony Joshua, his stamina took a huge hit. A huge hit when it was already bad. Everything that we see in training cannot be sustained. That's why I kept saying, well, y'all, Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, Anthony Joshua would be well and good just to go through and be willing to let Jake Paul punch himself out for the first 2 rounds. Go ahead. Be right at the end of his jab. Let him land some stuff to your body. Give him some confidence to throw some more stuff. Clinch and hold. Clinch and lean. Play with him and let him feel like, oh, okay, tit for tat. We punch it. By round 3, he's already going to be sucking air. Going to be needing an oxygen tank. And now you make it easy. All right. Eyes of demise. You're done. You're ready to go. This type of body with that bad stamina can't do nothing with nothing. And now you go and you die. Not literally, but for the sense of eyes of demise. Seeing when an opponent is ready to go. Jake Paul or Anthony Joshua sees that every day out the week. He is a killer still. All killers got that instinct to see when an opponent's ready to go before the opponent even knows that they're in that deep of danger. He did it to Ngannou. He did it to Frank Martin. He did it to almost every opponent that he's faced off against in that knockout tear. Telling you, it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. And this type of this can't sustain to work. It can't. It can't. There's no way it can. All this talk, all this bravado is gonna go down by the wayside. Cause it's gonna be a dire sentiment. It's gonna be a dire sentiment, man. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. If this was for someone his size, it would be fine. But AJ, that's the thing. Even for somebody his size, it still wouldn't be fine. Everything about this is Jake Paul is a racehorse that is only dripped out in races that are less than a mile. He's a sprinter that is above average in 50 meters. Once you clock a real 100-yard dash, real 100-yard sprint, a real 200, 300, not yard, a real 200-meter sprint, a real 100-meter sprint, a real 400-meter sprint. Once you get into those types of races, he can't do it. He can't. He's never been able to. Why do people keep thinking this brother can fight? He can't. But only at a certain level. And he can fight only for a certain amount of time. There's a reason why every fight has only been 8 rounds. Not one 10-round fight. And even in those fights, he's gassed out before they get to the halfway point. This man can't fight. Not in that way that he needs to, because there's everything against him to build himself up to last with all those same abilities, with all that same stamina, to do the stuff that's right, to do what your coaches say. Ain't there, man? It ain't there. It ain't there. I'm telling you, it's bad. I'm telling y'all, it is incredibly bad, man. It's gonna be a bad day in the office. I promise you. I promise you. The odds of demise, they never fail. At this level, the odds, even Wilder, Even Wilder. Wilder, even at this advanced age, he still got him. Odds of demise. You can see when somebody's ready to go. You can see it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can sense it. It's an innate thing that is curated, cultivated in killers that you got to be able to, once you get it, it never leaves you. It never leaves you. And when you can impact on it, it's almost a done deal. So, here's my take anyway. It's gonna be bad. And again, Jake Paul might be in trouble. It's gonna be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a knockout in 5. If Jake Paul or if Anthony Joshua lets it go that far to ensure he gets the most, not just the easiest way to knock Jake Paul out, which would be to tire him out, but also the best way to go through and get as dominant of a one-punch KO. Make it so that Jake Paul has to defend himself when he can't breathe. You'll get yourself a viral moment. When Jake Paul can't put his guard up, when he can't react, when he can't be defensive, that's when you're going to, if you wait till round 5 to do that, because you're going to win every round. You wait till round 5 to knock out Jake Paul when every faculty is starting to go. His reaction time, his speed, his breathing, his punch selection. That's the best. That will be the best time to get yourself the worst knockout imaginable on the side of Jake Paul. It will be big. You do that, you'll get a better knockout than Jai Pacheco. Y'all thought a fractured skull and vertebrae was bad. Brain bleeding vertebrae was bad with Jai Pacheco against Sin Cara. Let Jake Paul get to round 5 and see what happens. Let him get to round 5 and see what happens. Let him get to round 5 and see what happens if he gets caught with a shot. When he can't do anything defensively. He's already bad defensively. When he's too tired to do anything defensively. Let him get to round 5 and beyond. He'll be ragdoll. He'll look like GTA. He'll look like a GTA character that just got hit by a car. I'm telling you, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really, really bad. It's gonna be really bad. Why does AJ look more fit than Jake so quickly? Well, because he's been down to 245 before, and he changed up his entire diet, his entire training regimen. He's been training with Usyk this entire time. Before Jake Paul, he's been working with Usyk, and they've been on it, nutritionally and with shape. This isn't nothing new. He should look this fit because he's been working the entire time at a better level with a steeper regimen, with a more disciplined attitude. Yes, he should be better. He's working with the best fighter in the world. Will that help him or not? I don't know. I just do know that that's gonna make a world of difference. It's gonna make a world of difference. Again, Jake's beard is not gonna help him in this fight, and I hope they make him cut it. I had a problem with Fulton in his beard. Had a problem with Lamont Roach in his beard. I got a problem with Jake Paul in his beard. I almost had a problem with Tyson Fury in his beard. Even though I get it, the beard is a natural thing you can go through, and if you can grow it, you can grow it. But there should be a regulation. It used to be, Teddy Adams saying it used to be back in the day, there was a regulation on beards where you couldn't cut them up, you couldn't have more than 1 inch of beard. Or half an inch, whatever the standard was. And after that, you had to shave it off. I wish that had happened. I wish that was happening now. To really test what your chin is. I wish they did it like that. But again, a wider commission could do that. But right now, it ain't the case. But it's not going to help him. It can help him. An uppercut from Anthony Joshua, a long uppercut from Anthony Joshua, could put Jake Paul out. Any punch behind the ear, put him to sleep. Uppercut to the head, cause him to fall back on back of his head. Straight right to the face, complete another KO. I'm not using Francis Ngannou as just a means of discourse, of conversation. I'm using Francis Ngannou as a copy and paste review of what this fight is probably going to look like. If not a little bit longer. Because I doubt, at least if we're taking with Anthony Joshua training under Usyk, he might not just go straight in for the kill. Probably will box a little bit more, use some more movement, but still ultimately, again, rounds 3 or 4, probably go to sleep. He'll probably go to sleep. He'll probably, and I guarantee you, they're just gonna wait. The whole game plan of Anthony Joshua is gonna either be bait out Jake Paul's right hook and either slip and counter, trade and tag him, or straight up make him miss and make him pay. Or even worse, you bait it out and he overextends, and then you land a shot where he can't recover. And you force him back on the back foot where he can't throw anything except for the right hand. You guard you with your right hand, and then you go through and you eat him up to the body. You beat him up to the body. You don't put water in that basement. You put cement in that basement. And you go through and you sap his energy. And again, you break his soul. Like he's saying, you break his soul. You don't just beat him, you demoralize him. You don't just beat him, you taunt. Not actual taunt, but you taunt in his face. I know you can't beat me. Not by going through and doing all this stuff, sticking out your tongue. You taunt him by landing shots consistently. And you have that dominating fear factor of pressure, confidence, and complete nullification. Scare Jake Paul into a corner where all he wants to do is run and he's too scared to throw. He can't even put his all in that right hand. You know why? Because he knows, brother, he knows he can catch me. He knows he can catch me. He knows that I know that I want to throw it, and he knows exactly the punch to throw, and I know I can't take the shot. I'm scared to throw it. What do? I shell up. What do? I get scared. What do? Now I start getting more reclusive. Now I can't win as a conservative fighter, and I don't have great defense, but that's the only thing I can do. Shell up, and now you as Anthony Joshua can go and beat him into submission. And because of the fear that's instilled, because you can see his demise right in front of you, but you're just chipping away. He'll make his own mistakes. It's like Tank and Frank Martin. Tank made his own mistake. Tank made his own mistakes because of the fear of the power. Frank Martin got so scared of what Tank was doing. The fear of the power made him go through and overcorrect. And this is a good defensive fighter with power that can counter. He got so fearful that Frank Martin overcorrected on every single one of his defensive ways. And it led to his own demise. He got too repetitive. And you got too scared. Fear took him over. Jake Paul, same thing. Fear will take him over. His spirit will be remolded by what we see Anthony Joshua do in the ring. And it's not gonna be a lesson. It's gonna be a statement. It's gonna be a statement. What that statement is, either A, keep trying, or B, get out. Either way, it's gonna be a statement that he will never forget. Or he might forget because he might lose some memory. Who knows? All I know is it's gonna be bad. All I know is it's gonna be bad. I forgot he's training with Usyk. Yeah, no, Yeah, he's training with Usyk. He's been training with Usyk this entire time before the likes of this fight with Jake Paul. I'm sorry, what did AJ say in recent interview about Jake that I missed? Oh, I'm sorry. He said, I'm gonna take your soul, and we played the clip. You can rewind it a couple minutes. He said, I'm gonna break your soul. I am going to, essentially paraphrase, I'm gonna destroy you. Quoting, I'm gonna break your soul. There is, for us fighters or knockout artists, there is a exact moment when you can see somebody almost give up. You can see somebody just on the edge of falling off a cliff. Paraphrasing what he said. And because of that, I know not only I can beat you, but I know to make sure I ensure that I keep you at that ledge, I gotta break your soul. I have to mentally break you apart in the ring. So you stay at that edge and forget confidence. You fight out of fear. So you have no shot at winning. I'm not going to just come in there and just, oh, I'm big, I'm strong. I am going to break your soul. So you don't even have the confidence to throw. I'm going to make you feel so outmatched that your own spirit stops you from making a move. In essence, to paraphrase, I'm going to do to you what Mike Tyson did to Michael Spinks before he walked in the ring. I'm going to make you so scared of what I'm going to do that I'm going to force you once we step in the ring to, with all of your ability, you will never be able to use it because I will not just nullify it, I will make you so demoralized that even the notion of using your skills is a foreign concept because there is no way that your own psyche will allow you to fight me. Y'all seen it in shows and anime all the time. Somebody is such a big threat, such a scary threat that your own body pulls you back. Goku, when he fought against Beerus, for my Dragon Ball fans, when Goku fought against Beerus, what happened? Beerus looked his way. Goku was in Super Saiyan, I believe it was in Super Saiyan. It might have been base, whatever it was. Goku was in a strong form, fighting against Beerus, God of Destruction. The brother went through, and without his own knowledge, his body pulled him back from fighting. His body was scared. The inner depths of the hero, the indomitable force, Son Goku from Dragon Ball, was scared of what Beerus was, to the point that it wouldn't even let Goku fight for a minute. He had to refortify himself just to be able to throw a punch because his own body was forcing him to resist. We've seen in other animes as well. Somebody's so strong that you go through, and when you try to fight him, your own body fights you. You can't move. I'm frozen in fear. I am trapped in my own body because of what I am dealing with. It's a real thing. If I want to run, but I can't, because my body is too afraid to make any moves. I couldn't fight back if I tried because my body is too afraid. The inner depths of me is pulling me back to a point where I can't control. That's what Anthony Joshua wants to do. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. This isn't hyperbole. This is reality. That's what he wants to do. He is going to break Jake Paul to the point that his own psychological mainframe of what his coach is saying, what his team is saying, All tactics get thrown out the window. Why? Because now you're fighting against somebody who, I don't care how much confidence you think you have. Now, when you feel what you're dealing with coming back at you, you are going, or your own body will lock up. We've seen it with other boxers before. We've seen it with other boxers in today's world. We've seen fighters who somebody was so strong that when they hit them, they were reluctant to throw anything else ever again. Barboza versus Teofimo Lopez. Part of the reason why Barboza wasn't throwing as much or nearly as much as we could see in the past and was fighting on the back foot wasn't just because of Teo's skill. It was because Teofimo Lopez, when he hit him, when he tagged him, it wasn't knocking him out. But it was hurting to the point that, hey man, I don't want to get caught with this. If I do make a mistake in the wrong way, guess what? I am going to get put out. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Ben Rodriguez, when he hits people to the body, they remember. Why do you think Kafu against Ben Rodriguez was touching all four corners of the ring the entire fight? He was not going to walk forward against the likes of Ben Rodriguez. He couldn't. He couldn't. If he wanted to, he could. Because not only would Bam not let him, but because they remember the hits. Gennady Golovkin, when he would fight and break opponents to Kingdom Come, you remembered what was done to you. And your body doesn't want to go through that again. That's what we're going to see Anthony Joshua do. That's what we're going to see him do. It's going to be demoralizing. Yes, the Michael Spinks. I'm telling you. Oh gosh, not Michael Spinks tech. Yeah, that's what he's going to try to do. And I bet he said that with an expression on his face. He said that with nothing. He said, Anthony Joshua said that with no smile, no expression, no outward getting more intense. He said that as if he was talking about a sunny day. He said that like he was explaining what 2 + 2 is for. He said that like he was explaining the seasons of the year to a child. He said that as if he was talking about what he's going to have to eat. This is something different from this level of what Jake Paul's facing. It's not, he can't compete. I'm telling you, he can't compete. This is why I don't want Jake Paul's stoop behind to fight him. Hey, no, like I said at the start, and we're going to move on, but like I said at the start, this is what he asked for. He put himself in this position. This is why I say you should have built up like you're supposed to. And build your stardom by getting an actual fan base of people that were following you in the sport while you were improving slowly but surely. Vidal did it, Fabio Wardley did it, you could have done it too. But because you put yourself in a megastar role, which, hey, if you deserve it, fine, but in a megastar role of I'm only taking fights that will move the needle, the only way you can move the needle is to go through and fight killers. You couldn't fight UFC fighters forever. You couldn't fight basketball players forever. You couldn't fight 10 years retired people forever. You couldn't fight 50-year-olds forever. At some point, because of this trajectory, and people were paying big money to watch your events, you're going to have to keep on upping the ante against somebody that can fight. That is also a big draw because that's the only thing people are going to care about. And now he's at that wall. And if he wins, hey, biggest upset in history. If he loses, it's what he deserved. And whatever, and you know, we wish him well. But Jai Patai calls Sin Cara to have a brain bleed and a fractured vertebrae with his knockout. Jin Sasaki went through and lost 6 weeks of memory because of his knockout with the likes of Brian Norman Jr. We just had a fighter a couple years ago get knocked out in the ring and then die upwards of a day or two later. Sad. It's a terrible thing. This sport is unforgiving in a way that is irreparable. And if you recklessly put yourself in these, and these are people that have been fighting all their lives, and this stuff happened to them. I don't want that to happen to Jake Paul. But I also have to say, whatever happens, happens because you put yourself in this position where you should have never put yourself at. And Lord knows I don't want nothing that drastic to happen to him. But Lord knows, we all know that is exactly what can happen. That's exactly what. But if Jake Paul gets hit with the shot that Robert Elenius got hit with, you know how dangerous that is. If he gets caught with the shot that we saw Klitschko get caught with that uppercut, Pulev when he got caught, Frank Martin Charles Martin, when he got caught, Dillian White when he got caught by Anthony Joshua. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Don't let it be that he stays up. If he gets caught with the same shot that Ngannou got caught with, which is going to be there, it's going to be there. What do you think is going to happen? One of those potential outcomes, and I don't want it to happen, but my gosh, it's reality. Because you put yourself in this manner that you should have never done. You should have never done it. There is marketing, there is working your way up, and then there's this. You jump the shark to the point that if something does happen, we will feel bad, but we also are all the same things going to be said. You got yourself in this same situation because you talked yourself into this fight. And everybody told you should not do this. And while we love self-belief, in this case, your delusion might cost you your health. That's the reality. Your delusion might just cost you your health. Your delusion, it might cost you your health. And we're only going to be able to say, chalk it up to the game. Not because we want to, but because this is what happens. It's a dangerous sentiment, man. It's danger. It's danger afoot. It's danger afoot. And my gosh, it's a hard sentiment. It's hard, but it's the reality. Let me see. Jason Garcia, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us all today. Let me see what you guys say. I'm watching the AJ fight for free. Well, if you got Netflix, you can watch it already. If you're going to stream it by other means, wink, wink, then hey, I get you. I understand. I completely understand. Let me see, Darren Anderson. And then there's just plain stupidity. Yeah, there is. There is. You ain't lying. There is just plain stupidity as well. But to be clear, we want to make sure that we cover everything else in the world of sports. So, but since we might spend a little bit too long on this identity of Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, we're going to jump into championship rounds quicker than we normally do. And hey, we're going to run the table, talk about the topics, talk about the discussions, as well as I'll bring up other stories, and we're going to give you a chance of time to shine, to talk about anything else in the world of boxing and beyond, with everything involving sports as a whole. We want to see what your thoughts and opinions are on anything involving the sports world, basketball, football, NFL, basketball, boxing, football, or anything else under the sun. We can talk about it, sports, movies, television, all that stuff. We can discuss and see how it goes as we go into the last 15, 30 minutes. But as we're going through, let me bring up other things involving the boxing world as well, like with Jerron Boots Ennis. Yes, indeed. We might have some drama coming afoot when it comes to Boots and his debacle with the likes of Virgil Ortiz, because apparently Virgil Ortiz is still yet to sign the contract, and we don't know what's going on. Here's Eddie Hearn talking about the parameters of where, or rather why, that fight is or is not being signed at this point in time. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Yes, you can. And boom.
Just waiting. You know, we get calls from Golden Boy. They're telling us they want to try and make the fight. Virgil's lost his pen. Hopefully he finds it.
So that, again, with this whole drama involving Boots and Virgil Ortiz, we have been asking, are they going to take it? Are they not going to take it? We got on Virgil Ortiz for saying he would love to fight Spence after just calling out Boots and confronting him inside the ring, and both of them agreeing, yeah, we're going to fight each other. Then all of a sudden there's a holdup. There's another stopgap thing. The papers have been sent apparently, but they haven't signed on their end. We don't know what's going on, but it's starting to look more and more, sadly, like Virgil Ortiz and his team ain't holding up their end of the bargain when it comes to moving in the way of fighting the best competition, which in this case is Boots Ennis, at least in the immediate vicinity. So we're going to, it's sadly, it's a struggle because we don't want to be calling Virgil Ortiz a duck, but everything right now has been alluding to that stuff is problematic. That stuff is a little not right in the camp of Virgil Ortiz from the standpoint of getting this fight done. And if it keeps going on like this, I'm telling you, Boots gonna come out looking mighty clean. Al Booker Virgil team looking shaky. Brother, you ain't lying. And this is coming from me. This is coming from me, who's had all the respect in the world for Virgil Ortiz, especially after his knockout with Erickson Lubin. 2 rounds, put him to sleep on his feet. Phenomenal. You don't just knock out Lubin. It is a test. And he passed it with flying colors. And now, you can't do what you did in the ring and then go and move like this when the pin is time to get put down. And you said you wanted this fight. I don't know what else. What are the terms not right? Is there something that is under the table that you don't trust? Is there some clause that you don't like? What is it that is the holdup? I don't know. I haven't seen anything from his team. I haven't seen anything from himself in terms of Virgil Ortiz. So I can't say why this is going awry. I just know it's going awry. It's going awry in a negative light that is going to put a bad light on Virgil for how people are going to view him as to who really wants this smoke. And more importantly, your fandom as a whole being invested in you. If they see that all of a sudden our conquering hero isn't trying to conquer everywhere that he can, well, that's a problem. That affects your money. That affects your cachet. That might even affect your championship viability down the line. To go from I'll take on all comers who wants to step in the ring and fight to now you a duck. Hey, look. That's a fall from grace. That's a fall from grace I dare never experience in my life. Because I'm telling you this right now, for him, at this point, it ain't looking pretty good. It ain't looking pretty good, at least from my vantage point at this point in time. But also, real quick, we had some other stuff involving the world of boxing as well, like with, where is it at? More rumors involving the world of boxing. We have more returns coming in the fray beyond just Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua being rumored to happen upwards of next year in 2026 as the biggest British boxing match in history, with 2 people that have astounded a generation finally getting it on. If he beats Jake Paul to Anthony Joshua, and then another tune-up that's happening earlier in, I think, February, we got another return potentially on the horizon. And it's one man that has seemingly stepped out the spotlight, apparently been acquitted, or at least been gotten off on this case, and is now getting ready to make a return to the ring, and that is the incomparable, the infamous, the polarizing figure in the lights of Tank Davis. Hey. Well, I know the sentiment. I'm telling you this now. If this rumor is true, again, reported by the likes of Pound for Pound, another prominent boxing social media channel. Like, if this is rumors, it's a rumor. Not saying it's real. It's rumor. Other people have been somewhat propagating the same thing, so it might actually be true. If he does come back in 2026 and he does fight Isaac Cruz again, I will be surprised I'll be surprised. And if he fights Isaac Cruz, that would mean he's moving up to 140. That would mean he's moving up to 140. That would mean, wait a minute, he might actually be getting off his high horse and working to get in the ring with some of the people at a division he should have already been at to beat some of the best in the world. If not, at least start a road where he's actually taking on the toughest competition imaginable. I am not saying that's going to happen. I am not saying this is factual. I am saying since the whole situation of domestic violence that happened again, since that is apparently become a non-issue now, if he is returning, I beg all of you, do not let him fall by the wayside of doing the same stuff he's been doing this entire time. Yes, people champions he's faced, or people he faced, has gone on to be champions. Sure. Frank Martin had a great debut at 140 against Barthélemy. Isaac Cruz became a champion. Lamont Welch fought Isaac Cruz to a draw. Ryan Garcia is about to fight in a championship with Mario Barrios, even though he lost to Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero beat Ryan Garcia and is a full-blown champion at 140. I get it. But now we're saying with Tank, if you are going to come back, it's Lamont, Shakur, and anybody amongst that level of talent. Tio as well. Devin Haney as well. That level of talent, that threshold that you said you're at, that you said you were at, it's the only threshold that you should be fighting at from this point on. And if you do not, that can include Isaac Cruz as well, but if you don't, that is going to be such a bad indictment. And we shouldn't care. Shouldn't care. Don't let the flash and the bling and the purple hearts fool you, or the chrome hearts fool you. If it ain't one of them, we shouldn't care. I don't care if this is real, it better be something legit. You better fight them where they are, because that's where you should have already been. At least to me, at least in my estimation. Because I don't want to beat a dead horse when it comes to Tank, but my gosh, man, I'm sick of it. Sick of dealing with that. Sick of dealing with him every time. When it's just at his level. He should be fighting people that are at his level. Now, maybe he's at the Lamont Roach level. Maybe he is. Maybe he's at the Isaac Cruz level. Maybe he is. But what I do know is that what he is definitively, as a talent, has been talked about with other pound-for-pound level people. So if he wants to be talked about in that same regard, guess what he's got to do? Fight those same regard. I better see him fight Isaac Cruz, Lamont Roach, and Shakur, and Tia, all within the span of a year. I better see that. That's my only recourse. That's the only thing I want. If it ain't that, guess what? It ain't nothing. If it ain't that, it ain't nothing. If it ain't that, it ain't nothing. At least not to me. At least not to me. Anyway, let me see, Mule, what you got to say on the day for today. Let me see. I'm trying to make sure. Hold on. I'm clicking on it, but it's ain't. Okay, there we go. Usyk has recently disappointed me as a fan. Since 2019, Usyk barely fights once a year. And to pick Wilder, a guy who looked horrendous against Anthony Herndon, is disgusting. Again, I completely get it. I completely get it. Now, to play the other side of the coin, to play devil's advocate with Usyk, he has had one of the most dense 5-fight runs of anybody right now in boxing since his stint up to heavyweight. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's legit. He's had one of the most dense careers at heavyweight that he ran through Usyk. He ran through Fury twice when Fury was seen as potentially the best heavyweight in the world. Not even potentially. Most people had Fury as the best heavyweight in the world. He beat him twice. Knocked him down. And also outboxed him in both situations. Clean. Beat Anthony Joshua twice on Anthony Joshua's resurgence tour. Beat Daniel Dubois twice. Knocked him out twice. Beat Jared Chisora in this first fight up here. I believe it was the first fight up here. He has put in work. I have said that every fight should not be a knockdown, drag-out brawl. Be consistent, but you can get a fight that isn't as competitive. Like I have said that. There's a balance, but it should be more so dominant against credible competition. And then here or there, okay, you take on somebody that ain't all that great, we understand. I wanted him to take the Wilder fight after fighting Wardley. I wanted him to take the Wilder fight after fighting Wardley. Then afterwards, hey, yeah, sure, fight Wilder. I get it. I understand. Monetarily, I get it. Legacy-wise, I also get what he's saying. Beat all the kings. Want to see what that power is really like. Clean out Fury, AJ, and Wilder. No dispute as to who reigns supreme because you fought literally everybody. You ain't got no qualms. There. No issue there. It's the timing that I don't like. Because Wardley, after Joseph Parker got all that time holding a belt, he just lost it. And then Joseph Parker all that time holding the interim title, never getting a shot, losing because he was trying to fight and keep active against the likes of Fabio Wardley. Wardley wins, and now Wardley about to get the same treatment that Joseph Parker got with not getting his shot at a championship. I don't like that at all. That's a problem. That's an issue. For me, that's an issue. For me, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. For me, that's a huge problem. But because of the other work, again, I can understand why he's fighting Wilder from a legacy and money standpoint. But I don't like it. I haven't lost my respect. At least not for me. But what we hold fighters' feet to the fire. That's a phrase that we say on this show countless times. And it's for good reason. Because from Usyk to Inoue to Tank to Canelo to Crawford, Benavidez, I don't care who you are. When you're great, we got to make sure as fans, we tell you, hey, you reached this excellence and you deserve the acclaim. But on average, you should be doing all the work that you can against the best, or at least as close to the best as possible. Because you're the guy. You got work to do. And we get here or there, we're going to have situations where people are going to fight not so great talent. This is one of those situations. Now, the timing I don't like. The reasoning I understand. Still don't like it, though. I'm with it. I don't like it. I'm not disgusted, but I don't like it. I'm interested, but I don't like it. I'm going to watch like a lot of people. Oh, boy, Lord knows I don't like it. I don't like it. I truly, I don't like it. But let me see. Or bringing Pitbull down to 135. He better not. 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 Isaac Cruz has had 3 fights at 140. He beat Roland Mayer at 140. He lost to Balance Well at 140. Then he went and fought Lamont Roach at 140. He is a full-fledged 140 pounder. I don't want to hear anybody getting brought down to tank. I don't want to hear that. You want to fight at 135? You fight Shakur. You fight Abdullah Mason. Huh? You fight Floyd Schofield. I'll take that. Even shoot, you want to talk about a fight with Floyd Schofield? Hey, let me play you a clip right now of what Floyd Schofield said about what he can do against the likes of Tank Davis. If they ever did get in the ring and fight with each other. Here, you think that fight should happen. First and foremost, and we want to be completely honest with them coming back. Let's be real. Come on, here. I will let the likes of Schofield tell you in his own words how he beats him. Let me make sure y'all can see. Let me make sure y'all can see right. Okay, yeah, y'all can see. I'll let him say it in his own words.
For big barrios, like
I'm gonna drop some knowledge.
drop it.
Most of the Tank's fights, what happened? He be losing the whole fight, then boom, he catching. Why? Everybody get comfortable. I mean, that's the game plan right there. Don't get comfortable. You beating him. Simple as that. Look at Lamont Roach still in the pocket with him 12 rounds.
So that's saying that he can't hit that hard.
And look what happened when Isaac Cruz fought Lamont. It was a way harder fight than Tank made it.
For big.
Now, like it's now, to be clear, it's not that simple. Let's be clear. It's not that simple. But in his own mind, don't get comfortable with what Tank is doing. Don't get comfortable with yourself inside of the ring. He loses the first half. All you gotta do is win 2 rounds, and then boom, you can be ahead you can be ahead leading into the 12th. And just make sure you stay diligent. Again, in his words, not mine. But that's what he feels as to, hey man, you can fight him. You can beat him. He definitely feels it, yeah. But if he can stand in the pocket, in terms of Lamont Roach, I can stand in the pocket. Both, I guarantee you, both both Schofield Sr. and Floyd Schofield himself, Jr. Can't feel like, no, I don't know if he's a junior. Floyd Schofield and his dad both feel. There we go. Floyd Schofield and his dad both feel they can beat him. They feel like we've seen it too many times now. We know what can happen. We know how to get this done. So Tank, if you want to be about that life, hey man, you gonna come back. You got 3 names on the docket that you ain't listed yet, or potentially 3 names yet that you haven't listed as to who you want. Schofield could be one of them. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I doubt anybody else would as well, because it would make all the sense in the world, and it would make for a very exciting endeavor. And it would prove something to us and to yourself that, okay, he might just be like that. Or the level that we put Tank at might not be where we thought it was. But he's got to prove it. Because like I said, the sport has moved on. He wants to make a splash again, come back and be great. Again, that's all. It's plain and simple. Rehydration clause coming. It better, like I said, it better not. It better not. I don't want to see none. I don't want to see none of that. I don't want to see none of that. Anyway, fighting 4 times this year. No, he is. He is. And I wish at least every fighter fought 3 times a year, at minimum twice. That would be my bread and butter. That would be my bread and butter. And Canelo, at least we knew Canelo would at least fight twice. Benavidez can fight 2 to 3 times a year. I think he might have actually fought 4 times. No, he fought 3 times. At least 2 to 3 times this year and last year and the year before. Anyway, fighting 4 times. You got people like Chijiri fighting a lot. Junior Nakatani fighting multiple times a year. The activity breeds not just more excellence, but a quicker road to greatness. And Usyk, granted, he is closer to 40, just like Terrence Crawford. Both of them could fight multiple times a year. They could. Be clear, they could. But monetarily and for their body, they said no. Crawford said himself, hey, the reason why I only fight 1 time a year is because it gives my body a full endeavor to get back to fully 100%. That's why you're able to see me perform like I can perform even at this age, because I'm fighting and letting my body fully recover. It's been working. I can't get mad, because every challenge that he's facing off when they are at their best, legit at their best, he's been beating them, destroying them. So like it works. Usyk, it works. Granted, Usyk fought twice a year when he fought Anthony Joshua. He fought twice a year when he fought against Tyson Fury. He fought Dubois, and I think was gonna fight somebody. Was there another person? Did he fight somebody else this year? I can't remember. But he has fought on average, for the most part, 2 times a year. Recently, 1 time a year, is what it is. But even still, I wish they fought more often. I'm with you there. And I wish everybody followed the Inoue route, but everybody sadly isn't Inoue. And everybody ain't Bam. Everybody ain't these types of people. It's just the truth. Let me see. Y2J. Let me see, Bob, what you got to say on today. I've been seeing videos of Andy Ruiz back in the gym. I wonder who he might fight against. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know who he fights against. He might, now, hypothetically, hypothetically, I heard some rumors that he might fight the likes of Moses Atalma. I've heard some rumors. Some, not many. But I've heard some rumors that he might be fighting the likes of Moses Atalma hypothetically next, depending on how this whole heavyweight shakeup goes, if he doesn't get this, these championship opportunities. Now it was, because he just fought Dillian White. Let me real quick do some quick research to make sure I got that correct. And for those of you listening instead of watching, right now I'm looking up the rumors of who Atalma was going to face, and potentially if Ruiz was one of those names. I think there was another one. I just can't think of who. I know he got ranked highly by multiple of the that's who it is. He's not, Jermaine Franklin. Same buddy who fought against the likes of Anthony Joshua and got beat in Joshua's comeback tour up until the fight with Robert Lanez, and after that up into the fight with Deng Dubois. Jermaine Franklin going up against the likes of Moses Talma. That's going to end in a knockout. Franklin ain't ready for that. Absolutely. Great growth for Talma. Franklin's going to make it a little bit harder, but he's going to get put to sleep. After that, if he doesn't get a championship opportunity, because he is in line. You may think it's early. He is in line. If he does get a fight with Fabio Wardley, that could happen, hypothetically. Or get a fight with Andy Ruiz. Now, Andy Ruiz, from Andy Ruiz's corner, who he might fight next is a mystery to me. It's a mystery for me. He might do a rematch with Jarrell Miller. He could fight potentially Big Baby Anderson, as everybody seems to be back in the gym for the likes of Jake Paul. Who knows? All we know is right now, he's just trying to get back in shape. Great. What that leads, who knows? Might not lead to anything, if I'm being completely honest. So we're going to have to wait and see. I have a Talma getting upset by tomorrow. Oh, I almost forgot. Not a Talma. I have Tim Tszyu getting upset tomorrow morning. Hey, man, look. Hey, Tim Tszyu. Hold on. Everybody pump the brakes. Everybody, let me read these last 3 chats, and I'm gonna come back to Tim Tszyu. I need to say something about Tim Tszyu. Noel Donaire at 43 fights tomorrow morning. Yep, for the WBA super title. That's against that's against Susumi, right? That's against Susumi. Correct? That is against, yeah. Saya Susumi. Yeah, I had to make sure. Yeah, he's fighting against Saya Susumi early. I mean early. Good gosh, how early is that fight? Whew. Great day in the morning. That's 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, buddy. That is, Lord, that's early. Golly. Can I get up for that fight? Shoot. I might try. I'll let y'all know in the morning. I will let y'all know in the morning. Because, man, that's early. But we're going to see. Let me see. Maybe Charles Martin, maybe you'll fight Charles Martin in terms of Jerry Anderson. Maybe in terms of, Andy Ruiz. Maybe. But it's just unknown right now. But and also hopefully, but if Donaire wins the WBA championship, if he wins the title at 43, would he be the oldest champion in boxing? I think he would, because Laura's 42. Yeah, Laura's 42. Donaire would be 40. Gosh, he would be 43 if he wins a belt. That'd be insane. That'd be ridiculous if he actually gets that done. But we'll find out if he does. But you got Tim Tszyu getting upset by tomorrow morning. I'm going to tell you this right now. Tim Sue, everybody listen close. And Tim Sue, come to the front. I'm gonna tell you something that you need to listen close. Tim Sue, you have to win. You have to win. There's no, with the last two outings that you've had, dominated by Raymond Murtala, and then getting made to quit in a rematch versus Sebastian Fundora. Your stock is at an all-time low, and your career looks to be on the line. It looks like you're winding down quick and in a hurry. I mean quick and in a hurry. There's losing that happens, but it's the way that you're losing right now. It make quick and in a hurry. There's some fear that something, buddy. Every time I see you get fighting, you look less and less like the fighter that we've seen in the past. You look less and less like the same figure that we witnessed you as when you were looking like one of the biggest threats at 154 as a champion that everybody else had to run through to be a part of the undisputed conversation. You were there, and now you're so far away from that same goal. I am very concerned because I shouldn't be having you as getting upset as a legit possibility this confidently. I shouldn't be feeling this level of, hey man, if he gets upset, I'm not going to be surprised. That's bad. That's horrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. That is absolutely abhorrent because it is now. This is why I am saying you don't want to fight, or you want to get as much as you can done before the bottom falls out from under you as a fighter. I have been saying countless times, we don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to happen. If you can push past the hands of time, oh yes, if you can push past the hands of time and make it so you can still conquer at your old age, then it's a testament to your greatness. No question. But if you falter and fail, we get it. Because time beats just about everybody. If not time beats all. At some point, it's going to get you. The issue is, how far can you push what you got while you got it? And when do you go where you're now self-imploding on what your ability is as a fighter? Where now it's, hey man, you need to pack it up and send it home. This is that fight. This is that fight. This is that fight. This is that fight to answer that call. I kid you not. This is that fight to answer that call. And again, Anthony Vasquez, 18 wins, 15 KOs. I'm telling you. I'm not. This fight is that fight to answer that call. Because if he loses, especially if he gets KO'd, I don't want to see him in the ring again. Because now, even though he might not be as old, his talent is not able to sustain and protect his health. That's a good barometer when you know it's time to pack it in. When your talent can't sustain your health. When your talent can't keep you where you can competitively fight and be able to not get shooken up every single time, and you're not getting dogged out, overwhelmed and beat up. That's when you know, hey man, it might be time. It might be time to go. I can't do it anymore. My own fighting ability is compromising my ability to stay healthy. It's gonna be bad. I gotta go. This is gonna be that fight to answer the call. This is going to be that standard of whether or not Tim Tszyu should continue or whether I'm gonna say, "Hey man, you've had a great career, but it is time to go." I'm not saying one loss means you're done. Be clear, I'm never saying that. I'm saying that because of the way that he's lost these last 2 times at such a drastic drop, such a drastic fall from grace is not normal. Even amongst facing off against great fighters. I shouldn't be feeling this type of way saying, hey man, Tim Tszyu, I'm seeing you in a light where you are looking dangerous to yourself. If you keep on fighting, if you fight and you get beat like this again, you might need to call it quits. And I'm saying it might be it. I'm saying, and Tim Tszyu gets clipped, he's in trouble. That's the issue. And it's like, again, Vasquez, Vasquez, I believe that's how you say his name. Is that how you say his name? Velasquez. I'm sorry. Velasquez. My apologies. I read it wrong. Velasquez is an underdog. We understand Tim Tszyu is well more versed, well more accomplished. We understand all that well and good. As a talent, we think Tim Tszyu should be able, especially with the odds of how this fight goes against Velasquez. Like, sure, you should be able to get this done. You should be able to go through and work and get a great win, great KO. Bing, bang, boom, everything's great. All is well in love and war in the realm of Tim Tszyu, and he still got a chance to go and fight qualitative people. Mind you, everybody else that he's fought in this division has not been all that great in terms of Anthony Velasquez in his own right. So right now, he's ranked 59th in the world. And right now, he's even in America, he's only ranked 16th. And of the people that he's faced off against, the best names he's beaten, shoot, Brian Chavez, Florent Dervis, and Terry Chatwood. And he lost that fight. And he lost the fight going into the fight with Velasquez. This should, again, even though this should be an overmatched Velasquez, there is still an understanding. This cat, you got to win, and you got to win dominant. You got to win dominant. Because if you don't win dominant, or dare I say, if you get upset and lose this fight, pack it up. Pack it up. Pack it up. Pack it up. You're going to have to. You're going there. What sense would it make not to if you can't sustain what you are? It wouldn't. At least not to me. At least not in my respect. I don't think it would. And so this is an important fight. Underdog or not, Velasquez, you have the chance to potentially put a nail in the career of Tim Tszyu with your ability to potentially catch him and hurt him. Because Tim Tszyu, he's got to prove to himself and to me, all right, yeah, you can still do what you need to do. Not saying that Velasquez is if I misspoke and said Velasquez is elite, that's my apology. I didn't mean to say that he was elite. He's not elite. But he's dangerous enough. He's not elite. But Velasquez is dangerous enough. That Tim Tszyu, this buddy, he goes and he makes he makes a mistake. It could be Murtala all over again. Though it should be easy work. Should be easy work. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out. But boy, it's going to be exciting to see nonetheless. And also, we're going to do a last call because right now, we want to see what you all got to say for the last call in the world of chatting, conversation with the NBA, NFL, and all this stuff, anything under the sun. Be clear. We still want to hear your thoughts and opinions on anything involving the world of sports and beyond. So I want to hear from you in all regards as to how you feel and anything regarding the sports world, NBA, NFL, movie sports, video games, anime, wrestling. If you want to get into that, probably gonna go through and I want to have a little bit of a rant. I want to rant about what happened in WWE because, brother, John Cena's retirement got me so hot, got me so mad. I want to talk about it, but I feel like I should save that for Thursday. But boy, I got some stuff I gotta say. But I'll probably save it for Thursday. Unless y'all want me to say it now. Because like I said, we're in the championship rounds. So we can talk about anything. We can talk about anything under the sun. And again, we are in the last call. So I'm giving y'all like 5 minutes to get off whatever it takes, conversations, opinions you want to get before we get on out of here with this show. But I'm debating on whether I talk about this wrestling. I'm debating on whether I talk about what they did with John Cena. I'm debating on whether I should talk about how abhorrent they handled one of the greatest wrestlers I've seen in his retirement tour. Now, y'all, I'm only gonna get into it if y'all talk about it. If not, I'll save it for Thursday, and we'll let it go. Cause I don't want to hold y'all up. Trust me, I don't. But also, we want to make sure that we don't drag on the show. So I'm giving y'all time to say something. If you don't, all well and good. We'll pack it up and we'll go home. We'll see y'all on Thursday. We'll get out of here. But if anything else y'all want to say, you need a comment, thoughts, takes, opinions, news, predictions, fantasy fights, fantasy matchups, in regards to the order of the NFL. Chiefs getting eliminated from the playoffs for the first time in Mahomes' career. Carolina losing to the Saints of all teams and now tying again with the Bucks for the first place in the NFC South, which I hate because I'm a Panthers fan. We can talk about the amalgamations of the Rams still looking like a dominant threat and looking like a potential Super Bowl favorite. Ravens and everybody being upset with Derrick Henry. Where in the world did this man is like Samson? When his braids went, he went, and the skill set went with it. When he got to Baltimore, and what should have been one of the greatest dynamic running duos we've ever seen in NFL history, with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, all of a sudden looked into a fizzled out fire that is just smoldering embers from Derrick Henry's end. Talk about that. But if not, we can hold that conversation for on Thursday. So we're going to go out here, because apparently nobody's commenting. We good. We're going to go out here. We're going to let it go. And we're going to come back on Thursday and talk about more in the boxing and sports world of everything involving all of your interests with the world of combat sports and beyond. So with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you all so much for tuning in and listening to the show with us all today. It's been a joy. It's been a phenomenal fun. It's been passion all around, coupled with a bunch of entertainment. Hopefully, you enjoyed the show. Again, I do hope that you all had a great time. If there's anything I can do to improve on the show, please put it in the chat and in the comment section. I'll read it. I'll take it into account. I'll add it into the show. I want to hear what y'all got to say. Thank you to everybody who came in and supported on stream, who came through and donated like Matt Borgerson. If anybody still wants to give to the channel, we take Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description, as well as super chats, gifts, memberships, and all that stuff. Please, if you can support the show, it would mean the world to me. If you can afford it, we would love it. We're going to earn our right to make some money. We're going to earn our right to make a living right here on this show. And we're going to earn our right to do you justice by giving you the best quality content imaginable. And again, we appreciate it if you would leave a like on the video, comment your thoughts and opinions, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please keep on sharing the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together, all with you and your support. We can make this possible. We're going to be back on Thursday, and we might be up early in the morning to watch the fights in Australia and in Japan, but we're gonna see how that goes. Oh my gosh, 3 o'clock, boy, that's an early time. But either way, we're going to operate, we're going to do what we do best. Gonna end this show off strong. You can listen to us on every podcasting platform imaginable. Apple, Spotify, you name it, we're there. Rate us 5 stars on every podcasting platform. And hey, I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have a wonderful peace and love. We are out of here. Yes, sir. We're going to see y'all on Thursday, assuredly on Thursday, and potentially early in the morning on Wednesday. Be safe, be blessed, and we out.